Welcome back. Thanks for joining me on The Real Story. I got to tell you, I'm an Illinois Republican. Actually, I've been a Republican since I was a teenager in South Dakota. I was a teenage Republican, in fact, and I was the state treasurer for that organization when I was in high school. And I obviously kept following politics even while I was in the Army and stationed overseas. And I come back, and of course, every time that I could vote overseas, I did. Got my ballot, voted it, was really important to me. I went in, of course, under Ronald Reagan. What a fantastic president. And here he is, an Illinois native son, which I probably wasn't really much aware of until I moved to Illinois. And then you become very much aware of folks like Reagan and whatnot. And Lincoln, of course, Grant. Of course, I knew about Grant because he was a famous Civil War general. And Grant Hall at West Point is where you get your ice cream. So everybody knew about Grant. I lived in Lee Barracks, though, too. It didn't bother me one bit, even though now they're renaming it. That's a whole nother story. But I bring this up because I've been a Republican a long time. I've been involved in Illinois as an Illinois Republican. I've been a committeeman now for 21 years. Ran for local office, ran for state rep. And, we get a bad rap. Republicans don't do anything in this state. They don't say anything. I mean, okay, some of it is deserved. I'm not going to lie to you. I've done my own bit of calling to account Republicans who don't do the right thing, who vote incorrectly, who vote to have non-citizens become police officers, and then voila, what do you got in Hanover Park? Oh, gee, very similar situation to what you found in Des Moines. They hired an illegal, somebody who had a deportation order. Somebody who had overstayed a visa in the case of the police officer in Hanover Park. And, all of a sudden he's walking around with a badge and a gun and the ability to arrest citizens when he's here illegally and ICE picks him up. Like, come on. That should have never happened, but it did. And unfortunately, Republicans voted for that bill. And so, yeah, there's plenty of blame to go around there's some blame to go around on the Republican side, but certainly in the last 2 decades where you've had complete control of anything policy-wise in this state at the hands of the Democrats, there's not a lot that the Republicans are able to do other than use their voice. And so one of the people that do that, and he leads an organization that does that in the state, is Chris Miller. State Rep Chris Miller joins me now. He's the chairman of the Illinois Freedom Caucus, and he is very outspoken. And right now, at his official website, repmiller.com, you can sign his petition that calls for the impeachment of Governor JB Pritzker. Chris, thanks for joining me tonight on The Real Story.
Hey, Jeannie, it's great to be on here, and I'm glad that we're educating and informing the electorate.
Yes, that's right.
The electorate with the real truth.
That absolutely. You're a truth teller, writ large. And I got this. So your impeachment petition, you've got thousands of people have signed it already?
Yeah, I think we're up to close to 9,000 people. I mean, which tells me that people are really fed up.
Yes, and on the petition page, you say Pritzker has become a clear and present danger to the people of Illinois. His reckless words calling for nationwide protests, disruption, and even encouraging his radical followers to be street fighters, quote, are not just irresponsible, they're dangerous. Illinois families are already less safe under his failed policies, and now his rhetoric is pouring gasoline on the fire. Threats against half of our citizens and open hostility toward the legislature are not the actions of a governor who respects democracy. They are the tactics of a bully desperate to cling to power. If you support the impeachment of JB Pritzker, sign my petition today. And I think there's a lot of different ways that he could be, reasons he could be impeached. And you've picked out the fact that his rhetoric is incendiary and he is inciting violence. And we've seen that in Broadview, Illinois, against the ICE agents.
Absolutely. I think it's a travesty that this is tolerated. And one of the problems is the doggone media is totally complicit because they aren't calling him out. I mean, Jimmy Pritzker has a chance to be a hero, to actually do something about the crime problem in Chicago and Cook County, but but he just continues to gaslight and deny that there's really a problem. And before you can find a solution to anything, you have to admit that you have a problem and then go through the process to fix it.
Well, you know, he led the protest march, the No Kings Day protest march in Chicago. Was standing right behind the banner. I mean, what do you think of that? I mean, no kings. Has there been a bigger king in politics than Pritzker?
No, I guess that he forgot that he governed by executive order for, I can't remember how many days it was, but it was, you know, at least half of his administration has been done through executive order. I mean, it's the height of hypocrisy, and to be, I mean, they act like a bunch of junior high kids doing all this nonsense because all they're doing is trying to take attention off the fact that JB Pritzker is a complete and total disaster as the governor for Illinois.
Well, you're right about that. And so you guys had veto session this past week, and then you have one coming up in 2 weeks. And this is where there were apparently supposed to be a number of big bills that were going to be handled. One of them was this transit funding issue. Another was the energy bill. And it sounds to me like all they did was bash Trump last week. Can you give us a little bit more color on that?
Yeah, I can verify that these people
didn't do anything. They collected their per diem, and all they did was bash Trump, right? I think that's what happened.
Yeah, they have the worst case of Trump derangement syndrome that I've ever seen. And I don't know if you remember, but several months ago, I offered counseling service in my office for them to stop by. I had a hot cocoa, coloring books, and a stuffed doll of Doge that they could beat on him if they wanted to. You know, these people are crazy. I'm just telling you, they are bona fide nuts.
Well, I brought up the story because to me it's one that really hits home, and that's the story of Harvey now passing an ordinance saying that they are financially distressed and actually requesting that their finances be taken over by the state and hoping at the same time that they also get a bailout from the state to help cover their costs. So this is a cry for help, and I just want you to just like the idea that Trump is a king and that he is the problem, and that's what they're focused on. When 7 years ago, Ted Dabrowski and I stood in front of Harvey City Hall with an alderman who said, you know what, we're bankrupt, and we need bankruptcy protection. We need to be able to adjust our contracts. I mean, Chris, am I wrong, but is Trump in charge of the property tax system in the state of Illinois that is bankrupting these cities and the residents, rather?
No, the thing that these people want to do is they want to create a diversion because all the fingers are pointing back at them because they've been in charge of this state forever, and they completely own all of the problems. You know, and if you want to talk about a king, the only king that I ever knew was the king of rock and roll, old Elvis.
I was going to play one of his songs. I thought that would have been appropriate, you know.
It was 100% appropriate. I mean, seriously, though, these guys they're trying to do is take the attention off themselves because they're completely incompetent and they're destroying the middle class. I mean, everything that they do has a negative impact on the quality of life here in the state of Illinois, and it just continues to get worse as they double down on stupid.
Well, I mean, you guys are doing the work. You're trying to raise attention. You've got a lot of videos that go out every single week on what you're doing. And I want people to know that there are people down there that have common sense, that are pushing back against these leftists, that they're not being silent. And so what would you encourage the people to do to help you in that effort?
Well, I would encourage them to watch us and follow us because we're the only. I mean, we're we call it we're the authors of TLC, Truth, Logic, and Common Sense, and I know that we did some live streams after session 2 days last week. We're doing a Tuesday night town hall where we're just talking about the issues that are coming up, and this is the no spin zone. If you want the truth about what's going on in Springfield, you need to tune in to what we're saying. I mean, our our motto is to always be messaging, because you aren't getting the truth from the liberal bought and paid for media. And so the only way that you're going to find out what's really going on is if you tune into radio programs just like this one that's going on right now, and then take advantage of the people that are actually messaging what's going on in Springfield. It's a disaster.
So the Illinois Freedom Caucus has a Facebook page, which you can follow. It's wide open to follow. You can follow Chris Miller on his Facebook page. He's got both sort of a hybrid one, and then he's got one that's just official. Brad Hallbrick's got a really active YouTube page, so you can follow him and all of his shorts and his videos that he does there. But really, you guys have been the standard bearers of good policy in Springfield, and I just wanted to thank you for that and have you on. And do you expect them? Was there any? I know there was a 3-hour committee hearing on the transit funding issue, and it sounds to me like they are going to do something. Do you have any inkling of what's going to happen in 2 weeks, or is this one of those occasions where Republicans are always in the dark about?
Well, I mean, we haven't. Yeah, they haven't really been very transparent about any of this stuff, other than, I mean, they've created this mess themselves. I mean, when you drill down on what's going on with the transit authority, and you look at the overtime they're paying. I mean, they were paying guys $150,000 in overtime. Nobody does that, you know. I mean, a lot of some of my colleagues think that this is a Cook County adults jobs program for the unemployable. I mean, it's hard to say, but the incompetence runs so deep in here. Why would the hardworking taxpayers of Illinois that are struggling to pay their own bills have to bail out the complete incompetency of how they run this program? I mean, it's absolutely absurd. And then they want to charge $1.50 delivery tax on everybody that receives something in their home. I mean, this is no way to run a business. I mean, what you do is that you have a family budget. I have a family budget. Our farm has a budget. Everybody runs on a budget. I mean, and this isn't. They didn't wake up one day and go, well, Shazam, we've got a problem here. I mean, this has been going on forever, and it's just all coming to a head.
Well, that's right. They heard it. You just heard the truth. That's exactly what's going on. They've known this for a long time. This is a long festering problem, just like Harvey's, and nobody down there wants to fix it on the Democrat side. But you just heard from State Rep Chris Miller, and he is working his tail off to inform people. And so I want you guys to pay attention to him. All right. Thanks a lot, Chris, for being on my program. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me, and keep fighting.
You bet. Fight, fight, fight. All right.
Yep.
Okay, we'll be right back. This is The Real Story with Jeannie Ives.